jack welding specialist again. Today I'm going to be doing a rear sill repair on a Porsche 924. First of all, I'm going to take the rear wheels off and give it a good jet wash to give it a nice clean, and just, you know, remove all the mud and shit underneath. So I'm going to jack the car on the back of the diff. I'm going to put a wooden block on the jack so, you know, I don't damage any of the casing, and just go steady and then put axle stands under it as I'm doing it. Right, I'm going to put the jacking points, the axle stands under this. I'm going to mount the axle stands just underneath here. More. Other side. Right, and as you can see in here, it's pretty muddy, standard sort of thing. And then this is the issue. See how it's got these two skins, to the outer one and the inner one, and this bottom bit's just rusted away. Right, so let's get the jet wash on. So we've got petrol jet wash. What we're going to do is we're going to purge the line. We're going to just purge the line. Just on. jet washing is done, so I'm just going to run the water through the jet wash so that we don't burn the pump out, because that's what has happened before. And just wait until that water cools down, and then we'll go back in to see how much cleaner that wheel arch is. Let it dry out for a bit, and then we'll go and start cutting the rust out. So we've got the wheel arch all jet washed off. We can now see the rust a bit better there. Just going to disconnect the battery before I do any grinding or welding. So now we've got the battery disconnected, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I'm going to repair this. So let me turn that up. I'm just going to explain what I'm going to do to repair this sill. So first of all, I'm just going to clean this face off here of all the old under sealer to see how far the rust actually goes, because as much as there may be holes here that we can see, there may be telltale signs of further rust up further. So I'm just going to mask up a line just so that if we do end up going that far, we don't hit any paint. So I'm going to use my flap disc again. Got all my PPE on. So yeah, as you can see, a majority of that was just filler. Luckily we've got a good side on the other side, so we can take a reference for that, but it's not that difficult of a panel. It's literally just a right angle, so I will cut this out about here and here, and then the first skin, and just basically make two matching pieces, one for the front and one for the back. I'll put rust killer inside the chassis leg and sorry, the sill section, and primer on the insides. I'll then weld it in neatly, slowly tacking it from the top down, and then on the inside, and then prime it and under seal it. Quick thing just before we start welding is I always make sure I have a fire extinguisher nearby to any jobs that I'm doing. I would really recommend you doing the same, even if it's just a cheap one from wherever. It's going to save you the hassle of if it gets, you know, if you set the car on fire. So yeah, this is a CO2 one. This should be alright for what I'm doing. If it was a different scenario, I would be using either a powder or water. I've also got the tap over there, so I can just turn that on as well. But yeah, just be prepared. You never know what's going to happen. There could be years of old wax oil that just catches a light, or someone's, you know, filled it with filler and then put paper in the back. You just never know, and that could yeah, bugger your day. Right, so I'm just going to start by cutting this piece out neatly with the disc. Just put it on my mask. just going to go feel what's behind there, just in case there's any wires. So I'm just going to cut. You see there's a spot weld here, so I'm going to try and go in between the two, and that just gives a nice clean point to weld to. So another point to mention is make sure that you only cut the depth of the material that you're cutting through, because there could be wires inside the seals. I know on plenty of BMWs they have modules inside the seals, and you can completely cut them in half if you're not careful, and you know, spend pretty much the rest of your year trying to fix it and pay for it. So always be alert to what could be inside. If you're unsure, you know, look on YouTube and see if someone else has done it before, and yeah, learn from other people's mistakes, or you will learn from your own. So I can sort of feel here it's quite weak. I'm gonna get these. Right, so this, well, isn't really a piece to copy from because there's nothing to copy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some steel and bend it up to the profile of this. I'm just going to clean back that edge actually. Right, I think I'm just going to cut it a little bit further so I can get. Actually, no. I'm just going to leave that like that for the minute. And then, yeah. I've got my piece from the Porsche. I'm just going to make a new piece from this piece of 0.9 mild steel. So I didn't cut off the tab at the bottom, so I need to make add more material to make up for that, and also for the fold on this side. So I'm just going to pop it. Well, you can see there's a bit of damage there, so I'm not going to use that bit. I'm just going to turn it over. We'll clean all the rust off before I put it in. So if I go like that and just cut that sort of a size, actually not even that, I'll just go about there. So I'm just going to use the guillotine. Blank cut out, and then what I will need to do is I'm going to mark, I'm going to move it to the top of the panel, and then what I'll do is I'll get the other, I need to make a bend here that goes underneath, and then it needs to have a bottom flange to spot weld to. So I'm just going to get a template. To the seal, we're just going to make a little template for the curve of this panel. So what I've got is I've got a pair of pliers, and just a strip of steel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this. So I'm going to measure just roughly sort of with my finger. So I'm going to go like this, put a point on, and then with my pliers, just give it a decent bend around. Now that looks pretty good to me. So, and then we'll sort of take another rough, just put a finger where the bend is, and then again, just with the pliers, just come in and just give it a little bit of a bend like that. So I need a little bit more, I think. I needed to bring it out a little bit further, so I'm just going to flatten that down again and then bring it out just a little bit further. Not that much. So then that's going to sit just about, oh yeah, a little bit more needs adjusting. So that's what it roughly needs to do, and then I'm just going to, with my fingers, just gently bend this round, very gently, just to give it a bit of a curve. Let's get a bit of I'm going to get a hammer just to sort of straighten this sort of little kink out. Just so get in there, a little bit less on the curve, and that's roughly what it needs to be. So we'll take this to our piece we've just made, or we're going to make, and then we'll just make it to be as long as this sill with the fold on the back here. So we've got our little template for the curve of the sill. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark the lines across the whole piece. So what you will need for this is either a vernier odd leg calipers or whatever, or if you don't have a pair of calipers, an adjustable spanner will work pretty well too. So what you want to do is you want to just come along with the tool you are going to be scribing with and measure it up accordingly. Now these odd leg ones you will have to put here and mark the position of the bend like this. If you have normal straight legged dividers, then use them. So this is for the first bend, and yeah, you could just use this. It does exactly the same thing, and then we will increase it so that we've got, so what I'll do now is I'll lay it on here and then just increase the length just roughly. Let's go back a little bit. And what you want to do is you want to measure to the insides of the curves, because that's where the folder is going to be, or your vise, or wherever you bend it. Now you also want to mark it on the other side as well, so again, flip it over, measure it, and there we have the starting of our outer sill section. Now we're going to go over to the folder and begin bending this up. So we've got our piece that we've just marked up. We're now going to use the folder to fold it up, and we just need to make sure that we fold this in a way that we don't, so we bend this and then we find out we can't bend this line because of the way this is made. So we're just going to do the most critical line first. We're going to put it in and line up the two marked ends. This would work fine just in a vise if you have a wide enough vise, but for sills you really need to do it the whole length. So then we're going to just slowly bring it up. And remember, we've got excess material at the top here, so that if we do need to bring the lines out a little bit, we can just simply put it in and pull it out just maybe 1 mil further than the line. So if I go back to get my template, so I'm going to look at that and think that, look, so I still need to go a little bit sharper on that edge. So there's a much better 90 for this piece. So that looks pretty good to me. The curve's slightly different, but it's very tricky to get it the same. So now, like I was saying, now we have to clamp this piece in upside down, and then it needs to be this piece needs to come up. And as you can see, there's more material here than there is here and here. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to wind up the top of the folder and put it in so that the line lines up to the top of this piece. And I'm just going to slowly push it down with the folder. Now, before I go all the way, I'm just going to look at the line again, just to check that I'm not pushing it out too much. So I think I need to push the plate slightly in, otherwise I'm gonna the bend's gonna be out here instead of just back here. And all these little details will make a huge difference when you put the panel in. I'm just going to bring that up again. And then I'm going to hold it and clamp it down again. Hopefully it grabs it from a better point. So now that's clamped down, I can then go back to bending that up. I think I want to put it out a little bit more. That one looks better. I think I'm going to have to dress this a little bit. It's got a bit diagonal. Oh no. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So, which way do we need to go? So I think I need to go up considerably more and just keep clamping and bending. This isn't the best folder. If you noticed, it's got, well, a huge gap there now that it's clamped down, but a really tight gap up here. So it does need a bit of, well, it's just not the strongest design. So let me get it in there. Clamp it down. And let's get round shape, but I think we need to do that to then come back. So if we then clamp it on the inside and just gently bring it back. And then also, while we're here, well, actually I'll check it first. So it has changed a little bit, so we're gonna have to dress that. But I just need to keep folding it until this is there. So let's do that. I'm going to do this. As you can see, it looks like a very simple piece to make, and it probably is for some people, but this is how long this can take sometimes. I'm just going to use this dolly to bring this edge to be a bit more of a 90, because I think we're nearly there. We just need to address a couple of edges. Right, so we're getting further away, so then I need to fold that back edge up. Right, we are getting somewhere, but as you can see, as I've bent it the opposite way, the easiest place for it to bend is there. So I'm going to need to dress that as well. So I'm going to put it on the anvil. Actually no, I've got a good flat piece here. So I'm just going to so that's got that a little bit flattened out now, so I can concentrate on trying to get that bottom shape in a little bit better. There's my template. So we're getting there. Still need just to do a little bit of fettling. Let's do a little bit more this. That's pretty good there. And then the last bit, we just need to try and just gently hand pull it up. Sometimes the best way to do these sort of things is literally just over your knee. Need a little bit. I just need a little bit more on that bottom edge, but not so much that it curves. Where's the bit? Oh, there it is again. Right, so and there you can sort of see it's very close. We can adjust it more when we get to the car, and also when we weld it, we can pull in certain areas and tack them, and then just weld it all nice and flush, and it will look as good as new. So yeah. Little bit of work, but this is how long it does take sometimes, and this is only a small section, so a big section could be a lot more work. So yeah, we're going to go back to the car now and try this on. So we've made our piece here. It looks like it fits quite nicely. I still need to adjust a little bit at the bottom. Once it's welded in, we can dress a few areas. Definitely, you know, we've made it over size and over length, which is really good. And now we will just line it up roughly to this front bit here, and we'll just mark where the end of that will be. And this is where we will make the swage piece. Now, I'm not going to weld this in yet because I need to prepare the inside. I'm going to use this as a template to work out where it's gonna go to. So I'm going to go back in the workshop and trim this end, and then we will do the other panel in the next video. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe and all that stuff, and follow my Instagram and all that stuff as well if you'd like to, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.